Hello, everyone.
We're live.
It's Diaz and Day.
It's happening.
Your favorite buddy cops. He's the bad cop. I'm the good cop. And we are here to talk about self-care.
And we're not on a delay like we were last time. Last time we were on like a 2-second delay. It felt like we were like on a newscast or something.
It like killed my comedic timing.
It
I have
was.
a lot of respect for newscasters who, like, even though we're experiencing the delay, they don't show it on their face. They're like, they got their microphone and they're like, yes. And I'm like, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I ruined it last time.
Yeah, it did. So let's see. Let's see if we're funny this time. Otherwise, there is a delay. Okay, so I got to see who is all here. Let us know if you can hear us and see us in the chat. Make sure we don't have any technical difficulties. If you can't hear us or see us, hit refresh, and we'll see what's going on there. Is anybody there? Hello.
See people on the live, so we'll see if anybody says anything.
Oh, there we go. Okay, somebody's here. Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Angela, who also works for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce Chachi Diaz, America's Sweetheart. He is our Senior Director of Tech and Sales, and he is a professional chef. He actually won Top Chef Texas. So if you don't follow his cooking channel on Instagram, you are missing out. Last night he made nachos.
Just here for the clout.
Yep. So make sure you give that a follow, smash that like button when you get there, and subscribe. It's super healthy stuff, it looks like.
Super healthy stuff, yeah. It was like 1,000 calories last night. Legitimately 1,000 calories. But I didn't eat throughout the rest of the day because I wanted to stuff my face. So
yeah, there you
don't
go.
take nutrition tips from me.
No.
That is not my space.
Do you know what I call my relationship with my nutritionist? My nutritionship.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and who am I?
Oh, gosh. Chief Marketing Officer. Nobody knows why she gets a different title.
I don't know either.
But she is Chief Marketing Officer. Fun fact about her, she was going to be cast as Rachel on Friends. Then just so happens that Jennifer Aniston walked in and this is where they ended up.
Yeah, so. They didn't want a 9-year-old to play Rachel. They thought it would be weird with the will they or won't they.
So it didn't work out. So now she slumming it with us at the Rachel Savvy as a Chief Marketing Officer.
Was Rachel top of mind because I kind of have like a Rachel haircut today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I woke up this morning. Let me know in the comments if this has ever happened to you. Woke up this morning and didn't like my face, so I cut my bangs. You've been there, right?
Yeah, happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Actually, I almost didn't recognize you without a hat.
I don't like a hat. I don't like not wearing a hat. I always wear a hat.
What happened today?
I don't wear hats when I'm on live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good. I don't know. I feel like my mom would tell me, "Why are you wearing the hat?"
Oh, shout out to Chachi's mom, our best supporter.
Yeah, so not that she watches these lives. I just kind of have her in my head.
Oh, that sounds healthy.
But now I'm super self-conscious. So next time I'll wear a hat.
Well, it's not too late. You could throw on a hat.
I could. I don't have one next to me. I usually have 2 or 3 next to me, but.
Oh, what's that one in the background?
Yeah, that's the Virtual Savvy hat that didn't fit me. So.
You should show them how it doesn't fit you.
Yeah, I'm not
how about this? If you stay to the end, Chachi will show how that hat doesn't fit him. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, maybe.
Is everyone in the comments cool with that?
We'll see. I'm sure they're dying to just see me wear a hat.
No, a hat that's too big for you.
Like Elmer Fudd.
Trust me, it is worth it. Okay, let's get started. So we are going to talk about 5 ways to practice self-care as a freelancer. And at first when we signed up for this, I was like, ooh, I might have to rack my brain. And then the second we started talking about it, we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like boom. So actually, I do love the subject, and I'm so excited to share it with you all.
Yeah, it's a really cool subject. I had the same sort of reaction as you when I said it. I was thinking, okay, what are the things that I would tell myself in the early stages? And once you frame it that way, it's pretty easy to come up with more than 5. So we'll share the best 5 today.
That's true. Okay, so let's just get started. Let's get in there. I'm going to start with the one closest to my heart. Okay. make sure you block off time to unplug and turn those notifications off. If you're me, I turn notifications off on my phone all the time. I don't even get text notifications. I turn texts off. I have to unlock my phone. There's not even like a little number. I have to open up my texts because I decide when I want to get interrupted.
Yep.
How's that for boundaries?
Yeah. And I think that when somebody hears that initially, you have this like visceral reaction of like, oh no, well, I guess it's me and my anxiety, but it's like, oh no, what would happen if I miss an important phone call or I miss an important text or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But once you actually get past that, you probably think that, hey, these are really healthy boundaries for you to decide. I mean, go figure, right? You decide when you want to interact with another human being, and that is completely your choice. We now wear a bunch of these smartwatches, but for the longest time, I don't have any notifications on my phone. I don't have a ringer on my phone. I don't even have vibrate on my phone. And so there'd be times when my grandmother would try to call me and she can't, or try to text me and she wants an answer like that. Mm-hmm. So she got mad at me and like would roast me every time. She's like, well, what if I need to call you? What if I need to do this? And so I had to finally pony up and get a smartwatch. And now I get notifications so that I don't miss her phone call or her
Just
text.
her.
Just her. She's the
What's
only
your grandma's name? I
roasting.
gotta know. What's your grandma's name?
Yeah, Avelina.
Avelina.
So, yeah,
that's beautiful.
Beautiful name. But
why do you ignore Avelina though?
I don't ignore Avelina.
Okay,
I like to choose when I interact with another human
being. With Avelina?
But grandma comes first. But the point is that you definitely need to set time aside, especially if you're with your family in the evenings, or you just need some time to unplug. Super important to unplug.
So true. Ooh, we got some good tips coming through here. So from Tiffany, she has a do not disturb for calls from anyone who isn't on their faves list so that she doesn't get interrupted during the day.
That's what I should do.
Yes. See, I had to read a tutorial, but I figured out a way where everyone has a silent ringtone except for my husband, because he's kind of my Avelina and he wants me not to ignore him, I guess.
He's
fair. Super high maintenance. He wants me to respond to him like once a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just want to just make sure that we know this, that a lot of people would love to see the hat. So just wrap your head around that.
Okay.
But back to that one. Yeah, that's good.
We'll get to that. Yeah, do not disturb. So I didn't even think about do not disturb, which I probably should. Emily reminds me all the time, my wife, that aren't you the tech guy? I'm like, that doesn't mean that I know like all tech things. Like sometimes I just don't know how to work an iPhone, and that's okay. Sometimes I just don't.
Yeah, you don't even work from a Mac, so I lost respect from you the day you started.
Do not.
But also, if you are in a Slack channel, if you are in a Facebook group with your work, if you're on a text thread, yes, you've got to set in Slack. You can actually decide like automatically it turns notifications off from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. or whatever you set it as. I know friends that delete the app on the weekends, so they're not tempted to just check in and make sure. Chachi, are you a checker on the weekends? Are you pretty good at that?
Every now and then, but it's usually not for work. It's more of like, I really like the people I work with and I want to know if they posted anything funny.
Aww.
Yeah, but usually not with work. If it's work, I'm like, no, I won't like it till Monday. It'll still be there on Monday. There's no major emergencies. But I think if you're a VA, you especially need to have some boundaries, because once you give a client an inch, they're more willing to take a mile. So they're going to take their cues from the way that you behave in your interaction with them. So if you tell them that, you can call me whenever, or you can email me whenever, you will have some clients that will 100% email you while you're at a wedding or text you while you're at, your funeral, some funeral, and expect
while you're at your own funeral.
Well, you could.
Very rude.
So you could definitely have some boundaries, respect your own boundaries. Everything will be okay.
Yes. Please practice that. That is my favorite in self-care. Okay. Number 2, my second favorite, Prioritize margin, rest, and sleep. Something happened when I turned 35. Sleep has become like, I don't know, you guys. It's like name anything that I would have like gotten tickets the second they were like party, whatever. Any of that over here, and they'll be like, or you could not do that and just like go to bed pretty early, get some extra Z's. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. That sounds pretty good.
Don't mind if it do.
Don't know. A tasty nap sounds pretty good too.
Yeah. So good. So I'm sort of a sleep snob a little bit.
Oh, tell us.
I'm very obsessed with sleep. Okay, so story time. So I think I was, I don't know, 24, 25. I don't know what it was. So, and I could not sleep for the life of me, right? So I laid down in bed at like 10:30. I wouldn't go to sleep until like 1 o'clock, right? And then you wake up at like 4. And anyways, it was just really bad. Because then there's so many other things that go along with it, which we can get into. But so I finally started to dive into sleep, read like 3 or 4 books. I even ran a sleep group on Facebook. I mean,
wow.
It was so fun too. And so I finally got into a rhythm of like doing yoga before we go to sleep, reading before you go to sleep, setting the thermostat 68 degrees, same time every night, even on the weekends. I mean, I went full out. And so now from the time that I did that for 1 week, and now I can hit the bed and just go to sleep.
Oh, that's the best.
It's so nice. And every now and then you have to do like a tune-up, just kind of get back into a good rhythm. But you can absolutely sleep hack your way to a really good night's sleep.
Do you do
for most of us, not all of us? Say again?
Do you do 8 hours?
So I usually try to prioritize 9.
Yes.
But I'm usually around a 7.5 to 8 hour sleeper.
And that feels good to you?
Yeah, well, once you have kids, you don't get to choose. So sometimes I get to sleep 7.5. Sometimes I get to sleep 9.
I see. It's not your choice. I want to hear in the comments, how many hours a night do you sleep?
Oh, yeah, that'd be a really good question.
Does 9 seem like indulgent to you guys? Does 9 seem like, no, that's a minimum? I'd love to know. And also, I stopped by that Facebook group about, to be honest, it was a real snooze. Next tip.
Let's just pass that one over.
This one's yours. This one's all yours. I actually don't even know what this is.
Discern the people that you should trust. So when I was thinking about this, I thought to myself, I have a mantra that I like to say every now and then. And that is that all of us are entitled to our own opinions, but not everybody's opinion is entitled to your energy. So
whoa. Say it again.
Okay. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions, right? But not everybody's opinions are entitled to your energy, right?
Wow.
We are completely in charge.
Everyone, we've been Diaz and Day. We'll see you.
We are 100% in charge of how we feel, right? And so you can let anybody's opinion into your life, but not everybody's entitled to it. That is completely up to you. And so when you're starting your entrepreneurial journey, your VA journey, you're going to, at some point, inevitably want to quit. You're going to second guess your strategies. You're going to wonder, why the heck am I doing this in the first place? And you're going to go to somebody and you're going to speak both logically and probably emotionally about what you're feeling about this whole journey. And that person is going to respond in one of 2 ways. They're either going to be completely honest with you and but also be very supportive of you. And that's the person that you really want to trust. Sometimes that's your spouse. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's your parent. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's your best friend. Sometimes it's not. But you really need to go to somebody that's going to be honest with you, but also very compassionate with you, right? So here's another thing that I really like to tell myself. Honesty without compassion is cruelty. Compassion without honesty is enabling, right? So you don't want to have either one of them. You want to have somebody that is really, really important to you, that is really, really important to you, that is willing to support you in your journey. You don't want somebody that's going to be completely dismissive, but you also don't want like a yes man in your life. So who are those people?
Am I right?
Sometimes they're not even a person that you know personally. Sometimes you're just a part of an accountability group. where you need a sounding board, and that's all that you need. Sometimes it is your spouse that can be really, really compassionate, but also be really truthful about the direction of the business. So find those people, trust those people, and keep that circle tight. Because again, you're going to feel, it's not a matter of when you feel this. It's not a matter of if you feel this, it's a matter of when you start to feel like you want to quit, or when you're down in the dumps. Just go to the people that really support you. So that's what I invited, certain people that you should trust.
That is really good. So essentially, why do we practice self-care as a VA, as a freelancer? Because we're trying to protect from burnout. We're trying to protect from wanting to give up, from energy sucking. So keep in mind who you surround yourself with, who you ask the advice of, because those can either add to those feelings or help you heal from those feelings. So that is great advice, Chachi Diaz. I'm starting to think you might be the good cop.
So, and I'll say one more thing about this. It is 100% okay if this is not your spouse. And I think that some of us might feel like it should be our spouse. Like our spouse should be completely unsupportive, and that's completely true. However, they're a person too. And, they have their own reasons why they think that, but it may not, that level of support is not probably what they initially signed up for, right? So we can't expect something that's maybe out of their purview, or that they're something that you've thought about for a year, but you're only bringing to them for 5 minutes, right? So it doesn't have to be your spouse, and don't force something if it's not going to be good overall for your marriage, obviously, or your relationship.
That's good. That's good. A couple of people weighing in here.
Yeah. Here, I'll bring some of these. Oh, older daughter. Oh, that's really good. Older daughter. Oh, I didn't even think about a offspring. That's really good. I don't know why I said offspring. A child. I could have said child. I just went with offspring.
It sounded great. My procreation, Callie, is what I call my kids. She's 11 now, and it's pretty cool to start raising, we're raising little adults, eventually that's the goal. And so I will ask her sometimes, if I have a note for her, hey, you're doing great on this, but I need you to do this a little differently. I'll straight up ask her afterwards, do you have anything for me to work on? And sometimes she does. And who knows you better than someone who lives in your house with you?
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that two-way street of starting that with her, where it's like, you can give me notes too. I'm not going to be defensive. I'm not going to, I'm here, I'm listening. I'm not perfect either. So I like that. I like the idea that she could be my, what did you call them? Your discerning trust accountability friend.
Yeah. Accountability group, whatever you want to call them. That's really good. Yeah. Man, now I want to know, can you write those down and what she tells you? I would love to.
It's everything you're already thinking.
You stopped at half a bag of M&Ms. I really want you to work on that. Next time, bring it up a little bit. That'd be really good. I want to go back to the 5 or 6. Some of us are saying 5 or 6 hours of sleep.
Oh, Latoya,
I don't know how you survive on 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That is 6 or 7 hours of sleep. Am I the only one that?
No, I'm like 9 to 10 over here. Jared's always like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I'm in bed."
Here we go. Lynette again is at 9. Man, Lynette's a star.
Oh, melatonin. That's a good hack. It's a good hack. Okay, so the other thing along with this, moving right along, is number 4: move, exercise, or walk. Okay, Chachi Diaz. You recommended a fantastic book to me. I binged it, called Rest.
Oh, yeah. So good.
It has an entire chapter on walking. And brain.
Let's bridge these together. Okay. Rest is obviously a great one. Okay. And then we also have Sleep Smarter. Okay.
Is that a book?
Yes. That book changed my life. That's the book that I followed to get my life back, was Sleep Smarter. So Sleep Smarter is a great one. Rest is another great one. If you want to be a runner, oh gosh, Sean Stevenson is Sleep Smarter. I cannot remember for the life of me the author of Rest.
If anyone on the team is watching and is excellent at Googling, throw it in the show notes.
Yes,
or in the comments, not the show notes.
So Angeli, which book are you referring to? We'll make sure the authors of those names.
We'll get them. We'll write this wrong. Author of Rest. We love you. We respect you as a professional.
Yes, for sure.
So his whole chapter on walk, it's amazing how many well-known authors or geniuses, people who are like excellent in their craft, took daily walks. Charles Dickens walked like 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, are you sure? Before I say that, I'm going to fact check it. And then like 3 other sources were like 12 miles a day, 15 miles a day. I was like, okay, I'll go with the conservative 10, but that feels like a lot. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote Hamilton by walking, and like he'd record beats and he'd like walk around New York City and just start like freestyling and record himself on voice memos. So many geniuses would do walking as part of their like artist's routine.
Yes.
And it actually takes like your brain on a little date. It gives your brain oxygen, green spaces. It gives you inspiration.
It doesn't ruin your legs or your knees, like if you're not a runner.
Not like that garbage running.
Yeah. Who needs that? Speaking of running, another book, Born to Run.
Oh, is it about physically running?
It is about physically running, and about physically running barefoot.
Oh, this is it.
Rest. There it is.
That's it.
Yes.
She gets the bonus points.
There. Yes. Lynette, that is it.
And Janelle, and Tina, and Lynette. Thank you all.
Everybody got it. That is 100%.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Why you get more done when you work less. It's a tantalizing subtitle.
Yeah.
What about exercise, Chachi?
Oh gosh, so many obviously benefits of exercise, but how all this kind of works together. I think obviously the theme in all of this is that we want to de-stress, right? So if we're sleeping more, if we are exercising more, if we are removing the negativity from our life more, if we're unplugging more, we de-stress. When it comes to exercise, I try to walk every day, obviously, and then I try to exercise 5 days a week. And for me, I'm working towards a specific goal. It doesn't have to be a specific goal for anybody. A daily walk can be all that you need. But there's so many different avenues, and I'm not a gym guy. I don't like to go to the gym. I feel like I'm a shrimp. So like when I walk into a gym, it's like, ugh, man, I feel smaller than I already am. So I've always worked out at home. And I don't know, like it doesn't have to be anything crazy, and you don't have to go somewhere where you don't want to. It can be as simple as a walk outside in your own neighborhood.
Absolutely. If you saw our other live, which was entrepreneurship and the Enneagram, Chachi and I are both pretty obsessed with the Enneagram, and I am convinced, I haven't written this article yet, but I want to, that there's probably like a soulmate exercise by Enneagram.
Probably.
I think everyone needs to find the one that's like, because I kind of make fun of the people who are like, I CrossFit every day, and when I miss it, I'm like sad. I'm like, oh man, if I were to miss it, I'd be like, fantastic. I'm so glad I was out of town. That sounds really intense and hard.
Same.
But then I found Body Pump, which is choreographed weights, as in you lift on like the beat of the music. And I literally like smile while I do it. And if I miss it, I'm like sad. So everyone has to find the thing that if you miss it, you're sad. And it might not be CrossFit for everyone.
For a long time, I did Beachbody. Beachbody was fun.
See, I didn't like it. I quit it.
See, there was like a community around it. Me and Emily did it. Rachel goes to like, it's called Burn Boot Camp. And she's nuts. I think she goes at 8:30, but a lot of people go like first thing in the morning, like at 4:30. No thanks.
No thanks. I'm prioritizing sleep at that time.
Exactly. So boxing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Jennifer, is that you in the picture right here? Like you look like you could beat me up.
Wait, I see like a fist. Maybe she's boxing.
Yeah, I think that's her fist.
I like
in which case I'm incredibly intimidated.
I've never done boxing, but I could see liking it.
Yeah.
Aggression out.
Yeah. To me, that's like too aggressive. Then again,
you're an Enneagram 9.
Enneagram 9. Like, why?
Let's find out if Jennifer's an 8.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna write this article. I'm gonna start doing the research.
And we got all the way to number 4 without
talking about the Enneagram.
See?
I almost made it through because there's only 5 tips. Dang it. So
We're
close.
growing.
Okay, we got some people saying, I love walking, Angela. Yes, Rachel, of course, the coach says, find the movement that works best for you and then go do it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I love that. One thing too is that the walking doesn't have to be like, I almost have to separate it from exercise in my brain. It's like I'm taking my brain on a walk, but I'm not necessarily trying to like really get miles in. But if you think of it separately, it's like really enjoyable. Like walks almost feel like indulgent to me.
Yes.
And sometimes I listen to an audiobook. Sometimes I just like work through like a creative problem and I'm like, aha. It's great.
Or walk, like take a phone call with a friend while you walk.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So good. I love walking.
Love walking and I'm gonna call somebody today on my walk. Who am I gonna call?
Me?
No. Who else am I gonna call?
You didn't even fake it.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I'm already very tired of you. That's what he just didn't say. Okay, number 5.
Read, listen, learn.
Okay, so I am a read addict. I do it in 2 forms. I was just talking about this with Abby. So Abby, last week, we shot over 30 YouTube videos in a week. It was intense. And so this is really interesting to me. So I'm going to apply like a lot of these all at once here. Are you ready?
Yep.
So we tried to shove in, we kind of had this like daily quota. So we tried to shove in like 10 a day. And the first day that we did it, you could tell she was struggling just a little bit by the end. And we ended up calling it like 8. And so I was like, okay, that feels right. Also that same day, we were kind of worried about running out of time. So we brushed through lunch. We, like kind of ate fast or whatever, got right back to it. The second day, we took this walk. We took this long lunch break. And we were like, we're only going to do 8 today because that was too much yesterday. After we had that rest and that walk, and we talked about what we were reading. We talked about what we were learning, and we got all this excitement. We went back, and sure enough, she did over the quota. She was like articulate. She was like talking fast. So it's like self-care seems indulgent, but you actually can produce better work. So here's what we talked about that on that walk, because that was actually tip 2 or tip 4, but I'm going to pull it in here. So we were talking about what we were reading, what we were learning. And I told her, I was like, does this seem like too much? So here's what I figured out. I only like to listen to, I always mix these up, nonfiction and fiction. Nonfiction's like information books.
Right.
Okay. I know.
Well, I mean, not technically. Okay, but go ahead. Essentially, sure.
True books.
True books, yeah.
True.
Not stories, yeah.
Not fictional stories. Nonfiction. True. So I only can audiobook when it is a nonfiction book, because to me it's like learning. It's like a podcast. It's like the same kind of audio learning, like when I'm listening to a professor at college or whatever. I can do that. I can retain that. I like it. I love when the person who wrote the book is the reader, because I don't really like actors acting at me. I don't like it. I don't like when they're like, this is my chance to really perform these tips for you. And I'm like, just tell me the tips. I can't listen to fiction. I have to read fiction. Again,
I can see that.
I don't want actors doing voices like, no, I'm a girl. And I'm like,
true.
Can't do this.
I can see that. Mm-hmm.
So here's what I figured out. This is what I was divulging to Abby. I have figured out for like the last 3 months, I can listen to an audiobook nonfiction Monday through Friday and finish it. And I can read a fiction book Friday through Sunday and finish it. That is 2 books a week.
That's crazy.
That's 104 books a year if I keep it up.
That's nuts. I'm reading like 4 books right now. I haven't finished any of them.
I have to do that. I can't like stop. Yeah. Anyway, but I'm like a 7. I'm like a binger. Like I like to finish it once I start it. And I can't start a fiction book on a Monday or I just won't work.
So you've already talked about rest, but what's your favorite, or what's a book that you would recommend overall personal development to people watching today? What would be your
Probably my favorite of the year was Atomic Habits, because it is so actionable. I love action steps. I get a little overwhelmed by books that are like, great lofty idea, and then you finish it and you're like, that was so inspiring. What do I do? What do I do about all this inspiration? And then I get overwhelmed, and then I kind of like move on. So Atomic Habits is great because it's all about breaking things down into teeny tiny actionable steps. And they even recap every chapter at the end in like bulleted points. So if you're someone who needs to like review, it's a good one for you. There's very few books that I listen to on audiobook and then buy the paper copy, and this was one of them. So that's high praise for me.
Yeah. Tamara said, you? Tom who? Were we talking about Tom? Atomic Habits is what we were talking about. Is the book. It's by James.
Atomic.
Where's the book? By James Clear. Atomic Habits by James Clear.
I'm typing it because that was hilarious.
And it is also, it's a very dense book. So I don't know if, when I read it, I had to read it like I couldn't binge it because my brain was going to explode. So I don't know if you're like me or you're like Rachel.
From Friends?
Yeah.
Or from...
I'm talking about you. Talking about you. I don't know if you're like me or like Katie. I don't know if you like to binge books, but my head usually explodes when I do that, especially with Atomic Habits, but it was really good. My book, I'm reading it right now and I cannot put it down, but I can't officially recommend it because it is not safe for work. So Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins is really good. It is really good. It is incredibly vulgar and honest. It is authentic to who he is. I wouldn't write that book for a multitude of reasons, but he is not me, but he is incredibly motivating to me. So that's the book that I really, really like. I've heard other people like it. Tiffany, I would not know that that's a book that you love, but it's a great book.
You just learned something.
Really great book.
When you say vulgar, you just mean language.
I mean language, yeah. And he talks about his life. I mean, his life was hard. And he goes into detail about some of his abuse and things like that. It's just a hard book. But to see how he used that and to see where he's come and who he became because of those things, and he describes them as if he was talking to other sailors. And he holds nothing back. But afterwards, like I read a chapter and I want to run through a wall. So
you should try.
I think I'm going to read a chapter and I'm going to go run through a wall.
All right, guys, if you stay to the end, Chachi's going to put on his oversized hat and run through that wall without opening the door.
Run through a wall. I'm going to see how good this drywall is here.
What's one thing, if you don't know the answer, that's okay. I'm putting you on the spot. What's one like action item from Can't Hurt Me that you could apply?
You know what? It's not even from the book. It's from, I don't even know where I found it. Maybe on TikTok or something like that. But he's running, right? And he's running. And he said, when I was back in Army Ranger, now he went through 3 different special forces training. He was like a Army Ranger, an Air Force something, and a Navy SEAL. Like he did all 3 of them. So he's like, when I was training to be an Army Ranger, this is my impression of him. I was training to be an Army Ranger, and sometimes our drill sergeant would mess with us, and we'd be running, and people were thinking we were only running 5 miles. But then he starts running past the 5 mile marker, and he says everybody behind me would start going, oh, look, when is it gonna stop? And gets in their head. He says, not me. At that point, I was taking souls. He's talking about taking souls all the time. Like, why are you taking souls? Like, what are we doing there? He's like, I just started messing with my drill instructor, and now I taking souls, I was smiling. I was saying, thank you so much, sir, running. He's like, so we can't run on hope, right? You can't hope it's going to end. You just have to keep going until it's done. I'm like, you know what? I am going to keep going until it's done. I'm fired up. I'm going to go run through a wall. And so I did. I ran through a brick wall.
And then you took a soul.
And then I took a soul. Yeah, I felt like
Where do you keep it?
Yeah, no, I can't tell you.
That sounds like the opposite of motivational to me. So guys, find your own thing that applies to you. That says stress me out and maybe want to go take a 10-hour nap.
It is very I think it also depends on where you're at in your life.
Yeah.
Right. I think sometimes you need the tough love, and then sometimes you need somebody to tell you, hey, it's okay. So
enabling from earlier.
I need somebody.
If you need an enabler, hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm your girl.
He's cool, but it's really good.
My favorite action item from Atomic Habits that I learned, which actually I feel like some of these like seem so obvious once it clicks, and you're like, of course.
Oh, I have one from that book. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. I always had goals, and so I would create a goals list. But what he advises is instead of creating goals lists, create systems lists. And as long as the system is running, you're winning every single day. So example, the easiest one to like kind of exemplify is like weight loss. Like my goal is to lose 10 pounds. And he's like, don't do that. Say my goal is to do body pump 3 times a week and to try, to stay under 40 grams of carbs or whatever your thing is. As long as you do that and you can check that off, you're winning, and don't worry about it. Like let the result take care of itself. And for me, that was like such like a brain shift because it's like I won on Monday, I won on Tuesday, I'm not waiting for 3 months from now when I finally win. I've got to win every day until then.
Yeah, it's very sustainable, much more sustainable model. I like it. I liked he talks about habit stacking and chain linking your habits back to back and having one kind of be a trigger to the other. So I've used that a few times. I can't tell you recently where I've done that, but I have a really bad habit of not starting habits very well. So I think it's a number of different things, but I try when I start a new habit to stack it on to something else. So like if I'm starting a walk, if I wanted to have a daily walk, then I do it immediately after Emily and Micah leave the house. I start my walk after that. So it doesn't always happen like that, but I've been more consistent knowing that that's my trigger point. And so I kind of have it start around that.
I have an idea for you if you want to work on it.
Oh, what?
Like, okay, I'm just going to get inspiration from your bookshelf behind you. Like maybe you can start in the morning, like put on your big hat. And then you can be like, I ain't no shrimp. So it's like self-affirmation. Then you take off your hat. Then you like move over to your crucifix. And you do like your daily, prayer practice. And maybe you like water your, is that a fake plant?
Oh, there's a ton of fake plants over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you just like water that fake plant.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that's a cleaning habit.
Yeah.
And then you get to work. So that's just some ideas from your book.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No idea is a bad idea right now.
Thank you. Let me know if you want to call me on your walk later.
Sure.
Okay. So that's our 5 tips. Does anyone else listening have more tips? Like, for example, run through a wall.
Run through a wall. I would love to. This one, Lynette has a book for us. I just received The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. It's a good book. Never read it, but I've heard
giving people high fives.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's the transformative power of the high five.
By Chachi Diaz. Every time you see someone, you're just,
hey, buddy. I do that a lot. Action.
Cindy, I'm hearing a major echo. I'm glad it's not just me. It's me and you, apparently.
Oh, really?
Just inside my earbuds. I don't know. Oh. Action over perfection. Echo over silence.
It's like action over, embrace the journey and don't get focused on achieving perfection. Yeah. Especially for TBS. Christy says a time block and stick to it. That's a really good. Time blocking is really hard for me. Ooh, Jennifer says time boxing. Is that the same as time blocking, or is that
some? Well, she's a boxer, so she's always trying to like slip boxing into it.
Time boxing. I'd love to hear what that means. My time box is 30 minutes.
Abby has a YouTube video on time blocking where she actually shows us her actual calendar. It's super good. If someone watching can hit the link in there, it's very inspirational.
Yeah, love it.
Apparently, Abby Ashley has the same amount of time as all of us.
Blows my mind.
Me too.
Yeah.
And Beyonce.
I don't understand the reference.
Beyonce has the same number of hours.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And Gandhi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tamara, she says, I hear it as well. Oops, sorry. I like to tell myself I'll do something for 10 minutes, then usually finish it. Oh, that's a really good hack. I've seen that somewhere. I don't know who said that. I think they were talking about working out. If I don't want to work out, I give myself 10 minutes to work out. And if I don't want to do it after 10 minutes, I stop. But then you usually end up finishing it. That's a really good one. Start it for at least 10 minutes. Anybody can do 10 minutes.
I've even heard 3 minutes because once you hit, it's like so fast that you're like, well, I'm going to keep going.
Oh man, I can rationalize for 3 minutes. Yeah. No, I can talk myself out of it for like, I can say, oh, okay, I'm going to do this for 3 minutes. And then usually I'm gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not, I need something to like, I need to be like an hour in and be like, okay, I might as well finish. No, I'm already an hour in.
We're very different people.
We are indeed.
Getting to an hour might as well be like a month.
Yeah. That's all I got for today.
Me too. Chachi's going to go take a walk. He's going to call me and we're going to catch up. Right, Chachi?
Yep. You wait for that.
Oh no. He's like, oh no, I just turned off my notifications.
Oh darn. I'm actually outside of my time block right now to do that. So
actually, I think I'm going to call your grandma and catch up with her.
She'll talk with you. She's good.
Okay. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I've been Rachel Geller. This is Chachi Diaz. Subscribe to his cooking channel.
Pay for the clout. Chachi.cooking or cooking.chachi. I don't know what it is.
You're really good at self-promotion.
I know. Very bad at it.
If someone in Chachi's cooking team is watching, if you could put his
someone on my team. Put
his Instagram in the comments.
Yeah.
Bye guys. We'll see you later.
We'll see y'all later. Thank you.